Seems to be like in this element. He's answering all the questions.
So mixed reactions today here in Singapore. On the one hand, it's a historic moment. It's the first time that a sitting US president has met with a North Korean leader ever. That's just significant simply because it happened. They managed to get to the point of actually having a summit. And certainly from the perspective of the North Koreans, that's a huge success. Kim Jong-un and his predecessors have wanted meetings with the US president for ages. And we have a declaration, we have a signed agreement that commits both leaders to essentially a deal that trades US security guarantees for denuclearization. I think that's the realistic minimum that we could have hoped for in an agreement between the US and North Korea here. But aside from that, it's a very broad, vague statement of intent, which is useful. It shows political intent, but let's not overestimate it. All the hard work of actually negotiating the details, the same kinds of details that have made previous agreements with North Korea fail, all of that has been pushed until later for Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and his North Korean counterpart to work out. And it's not clear how any of that's going to happen. So this is a good step. We've moved further away from the risk of war and conflict. The US and North Korea are talking at the highest level, but there hasn't been any concrete commitment or even specific commitment to action or a timetable or any sequence from the North Koreans or from the United States. Press conference, that's the interesting thing, right? But the thing is,
everything that he said, basically, if it's not in
the body language, I think, varied from being relatively cordial and friendly and smiling to more formal and diplomatic. But it was clear that both leaders were trying to establish themselves as a confident, dominant presence in charge of the meeting. There was a bit of a competition between the two of them to both seem at ease and in charge of things. Some symbols of deference, and clearly we've moved a long way from them trading insults at the UN General Assembly or elsewhere last year. So they've shifted the tone. And that matters, I think, particularly when you're dealing with a country that is, North Korea, that is ruled by one family. And so personal decisions and personal relations can be important. In that sense, the optics of the meeting are helpful. But there's a risk that they're essentially a gift to the North Koreans with nothing in return. So the question is, what is North Korea going to commit to do now that they have this? What are you hearing otherwise about this press conference?